everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm going to share a sweet traveler's notebook layout using a layered stencil background design. Today I'm going to show you how to mix ink, paint, glitter butter, and modeling paste to create this gorgeous design. Before we create the project, I want to share the November color kit with you. Each month there is a random collection of inks, stamps, paints, or stencils that pairs beautifully with the hip kit. The Feeling Jolly color kit includes glittery stardust butter, shimmers, ruby spritz, and Catherine Pooler ink pads in Skylight and Do-Si-Do. Your kits will also receive the Dandelion Nouveau Glossy crystal drops. Along with all these lovely coloring essentials, you'll receive a Triangle Trees layering stencil set. Let me bring over a sheet of cardstock so that you can see this better. There are 5 stencils in this collection with smaller tree shapes. These can be used together or separately to create a wonderful background, some frames, or simple shapes. I'm going to show you how to use the stencils on a traveler's notebook layout. This is the photo I'll be using, and as you can see, the lights in the background match this color kit perfectly. In the description below, I've added a link to this November color kit, along with links to the other items I'm using today. For this project, I've already cut down some glow white cardstock into 2 6-inch pieces to fit the size of my album. This has been prepped with gesso for the textures that I plan on adding with the color kit. I've backed my photo in evergreen cardstock, and I'm going to bring in a couple of paper strips onto either side of the layout. This is going to help frame that photo even more. On the left side of this layout, I'm going to create a cluster of the vellum die cuts here. These bring an iridescent and translucent feel similar to the lights in the photo. Over the top, I have laid a circle die cut. This is similar in color to some stickers that I want to add on the other side of the page. I'm also going to bring in a yellow tag that matches the lights and a little bit of silver. So on this left side, I've brought in all of the colors that are on that photo. Now I want to add a tree background. I'm going to start by mixing the glitter butter with ink. I've smushed the ink pads onto my glass board and started mixing in a little bit of that glitter paste into each color. I've also added some yellow Nouveau dots. These are not the ones that come with your kit. These are actually from a summer kit because I don't have that dandelion one. I do want my trees to have some dimension, so I'm going to add modeling paste to each of these mixes. This is going to soften the hues and remove a little bit of the shine. If you feel like the paste removed too much of the color or glitter, you can always add more of that glitter butter or ink. I have already started adding the stenciling with the soft yellow and pink hues. Now I'm creating a layer with the glitter butter. Make sure that you have a way to keep track of where the stencils are sitting so that you can line up all of the layers. You can mark the corners of the stencil on your page with a pencil or line them up with the corners of the page like I did here. Some of the trees on the stencils do have a flatter edge, which is designed to line up with another tree. As you lay down each stencil, just double check to make sure that all of those edges are lined up. It is important to let each of the layers dry before you add the next one so that that second stencil doesn't disturb the previous medium. I am quickly drying each layer with a heat tool so that I can add all of my layers. Now, to be honest, I'm worried about adding this last color. It is much darker than the others, and I fear it's going to overwhelm the page. Immediately, my fear is gone because this is a perfect color for the page. It's going to match the blue strips on the sides of my layout and the frame around the photo. I like it so much, I'm going to add a few more small trees. Instead of filling in all the trees on this stencil, I'm just going to select a few here and there to bring in more of that skylight color. As I finish this final layer, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you enjoyed this tutorial by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving me a comment below. I would love to know if you enjoy using mixed media on your scrapbook pages. Isn't this background so pretty? I love the mix of soft colors and bits of glitter. Now, if you wanted to add a pop of color, you could splatter some of this shimmer spray over the top, but I really like the muted hues, so I'm going to leave it as is. Here is the complete background for those two pages. As one who struggles with mixed media, I have to say that I am rather proud of myself. On either side, I did add those pattern paper strips and some stitching. I have zigzags and straight stitches. I created a visual triangle with the zigzag stitches. I have a large one here, and one here. Creating visual triangles with stitching is just another simple way to create balance and flow on your scrapbook pages. I also added stitching around my photo. Because the pages are smaller, I made the photo long and thin and kept that frame simple. The stitching helps this photo stand out just a little bit more on my layout. Now I'm going to start building that cluster of the vellum die cuts. After I added the stenciling, I decided that I wanted to make a few changes to this and bring in a couple more items. I wanted to bring in some more silver to this area and hide the adhesive on the vellum pieces. Now there are multiple projects out there that you can use to adhere vellum that doesn't show through the die cut. But today I'm just going to show you how I like to just hide the adhered areas instead. So I've popped down an "Everything Merry" phrase and hung some baubles below, and I'm going to lay some of those vellum die cuts around them. I want to hide the tree on the family festivities hexagon, so I'm going to add a little adhesive at the top and tuck this underneath the frame. That frame is going to hide my adhesive on that hexagon. This very merry and bright hexagon is also going to tuck under the frame, so I can just add adhesive right here. The one in the center of my frame is still loose, so I'm going to bring in some layers to help hold it in place. This chipboard tree has all the colors of the stenciling and the photo, so I'm going to place it over here. Over the top, I'm going to lay this banner that says Holiday Magic. Like I said earlier, this brings in some of the yellow from the photo to this area of the page. That tree and banner are going to be placed over the vellum, so I can hide my adhesive under those two items. To bring in some more of that blue color from the bauble and background, I'm going to tuck some ruffled crepe paper below my photo. To give this a clean look, I am going to fold the edges under and glue them in place before I tuck this underneath my photo. Adding this to the photo is going to lengthen it and make it look larger than the cluster on the opposite side. Of course, this turned out so cute that I decided to add a little bit of the top. I'm just tucking a small portion of this underneath my frame and then I'll adhere it in place. As I've said in previous videos, I like to repeat colors and shapes in all of my embellishment clusters. Over on the left, I included colors of evergreen, candy cane, fuzzy pink, hollybush, sparkle blue, yellow, and silver. I added a tree, holly, snowflakes, and a frame. I'm going to bring all of those colors and shapes over near my photo. I've added two more trees that are much more prominent, a bold silver frame with a sentiment, and a third frame in blue. Near the top of the photo, I'm adding some holly. Adding these elements brings focus back to the photo without overpowering the page. Now that I have everything stuck down, I'm going to try to figure out where to place a title. I'm not sure this page really needs it. There's already a lot of phrases on here, but I am going to try a few options off camera and then I'll show you what I decided. So here is the completed page with this bright holiday photo and a stenciled background. I opted not to place a title on the layout. I felt like it would conflict with all the fun phrases I already added, and I wanted to give more room for my daughter to write the story on the page. I did bring in some more silver to my page with snowflakes and holly. I placed these in a few of the corners to emphasize elements on my pages. To finish this off, I attached a simple twine bow on the banner, and this leads your eyes right to the stenciling below. Today, I shared a charming holiday traveler's notebook layout using the November color kit from Hip Kit Club. That amazing tree background was simple to create with inks, glitter butter, modeling paste, and a layering stencil. For someone like me who struggles with mixed media, I was surprised how simple this was to create. I hope this project inspires you to try something new. If you're one who likes to pin photos to inspiration boards, I've added still shots of this layout in the HipKit Facebook group and on my website for you to use. I want to thank you for joining me for another project. If you would like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about the project or supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.